Aarti continues our coverage. Aarti?
Thank you, Suhana. So much coming up for you this hour. Tons of tweets about FIFA's suspension of Uruguay's Luis Suarez. We'll share your thoughts on the punishment and whether it can stop the biting. We'll also take you to Brazil, where 2 hot matches are underway this hour. And in Toronto, more than 100 couples are getting ready to say, I do. Here are your headlines. I'm Aarti live in Vancouver with breaking news. Robin Williams is dead. The Oscar-winning actor found today in his Northern California home, dead from an apparent suicide. Joining me now live from California with more is correspondent Steve Futterman. One of Canada's best-known military regiments turns 100 this weekend. The Princess Patricia's Canadian Light Infantry, or Princess Pats, was founded at the beginning of the First World War. And meanwhile, police in Quebec have mounted a manhunt for 3 dangerous criminals who made a dramatic jailbreak last night. The men are Hells Angels associates in jail for their involvement in a multi-million-dollar drug ring and about to face new charges of murder. They were plucked out of the jail yard by a helicopter in a carefully timed operation, and it's not the first escape by helicopter in Quebec. 2 other men made a break the same way in March 2013. In that case, the helicopter was hijacked, but a spokesperson for Quebec Provincial Police says it's still an unusual escape tactic. Images from Iraq show ISIS fighters celebrating a victory on the battlefield in northern Iraq. There are reports they have surrounded 3 villages and are threatening to kill 300 families if they don't convert to Islam. These pictures were taken by ISIS fighters at the scene of their greatest conquest so far. It's a major hydroelectric dam in the north that supplies much of Iraq with power. ISIS now controls a large area of northern and central Iraq, as well as 1/3 of Syria. It wants to establish a large Islamic state and redraw the map of the Middle East. Well, this is quite a fascinating and bizarre story as well. So Ronald Stan, as you mentioned, let's go back to 1977, and that is when he went missing. It was 37 years ago, and there was actually a barn fire in Middlesex County. So that's about 35 kilometers west of London, Ontario. It's this area right here. There was a barn fire. The Office of the Fire Marshal, along with RCMP in the area, were investigating. He was 32 years old at the time, Ronald Stan, and he was declared missing after that fire. Now, turns out his family and the investigators continued to look for him for about 9 years, but it was in 1986 that the courts declared him dead because they could not find any trace of Ronald Stan. Now, in a regular audit of these investigations, according to police, they say that in July 2014, they reopened the case of Ronald Stan. Turns out he's alive. He's 69 years old. He goes by the name of Jeff Walton, and he's living in the United States.
Aarti continues our coverage. Aarti?
Thank you so much, Suhana. Lots ahead for you this hour. A controversial T-shirt that mocks a baseball team's logo is suddenly flying off the shelves. Big details revealed. We'll tell you what a bridge between Detroit and Windsor will mean for Canadians. And fan frenzy. Toronto's Yonge and Dundas Square is bopping this hour in celebration of another FIFA World Cup. First, here are your headlines. Hello, I'm Aarti. First Nations groups are hailing today's Supreme Court of Canada decision, which clarifies how Aboriginal land title is determined. They say it has changed the legal landscape and will reshape how land disputes are settled across the country. Duncan McHugh is following reaction for us. Well, it's another deadly day in the Gaza Strip as Israel and Hamas fighters continue their bloody clash. What a feat. That was Damian Warner in day 6 of the Commonwealth Games, winning the decathlon for Canada. He was part of a remarkable day yesterday that included 15 medals for Canada. The London, Ontario native earned 1 of 7 golds, and the gold rush continues for Canada. Carly Agro is here with CBC Sports. So we've also got some other medals to talk about. Who brought in the latest one? He has apologized to the Trudeau family, and police say that they've also discussed the investigation and the outcome, suggesting no charges will be laid with the Trudeau family, and that the family appears to be satisfied with that. But let's take a listen to what Ottawa police had to say during the press conference.
The investigators had a conversation with the complainants, the residents of this home on Friday. We gave our recommendation as to what we believed, the fact that there was not substantial evidence to substantiate a charge, and they agreed with our assessment.
And so again, though, they did want to make sure that they make it clear that they did take this seriously. They did go through the entire motions of the investigation. They don't condone the behavior of walking into somebody's home if it is unlocked or using the excuse of being intoxicated. But it appears that this 19-year-old, he has no other criminal record, so he may just have to improve his behavior, but police will not be charging him.
All right, thank you, Aarti.
You're welcome.